Hello my friends and welcome to Paulina Art. Today I'm going to be painting these pretty roses in a very easy one-stroke painting style. I'm going to show you step by step how to paint the background, how to sketch the roses, how to do the underpainting, and finally how to create the petals using the one-stroke style of painting. If you would like to see how I painted this easy floral, stay with me and let's paint together. Today I'm painting with the Liquitex Basics acrylic paint. The colors that I'm using today are titanium white, yellow oxide, raw sienna, burnt amber, alizarin crimson, dioxazine purple, and hooker's green. Of course, you can use whatever acrylic paint you choose or you have at home. I'm also going to be using the Folk Art floating medium. This is going to help the acrylic paint to blend and flow easily on the canvas. Today, I'm working on a 10 by 10 canvas that I have prepared the night before with a coat of gesso. I want to create a nice, warm, soft background. And for that, I'm going to use a damp sponge. I'm going to start with some white at the top. And I'm not going to leave this white, but I'm adding the white because I want to blend it with other colors. So I'm just going on circular motions. I now have yellow oxide, which I'm going to blend with the white. To create that soft effect and a little bit darker in here. I now have raw sienna, which is a warm brown, slightly darker than the yellow oxide. And again, I want to do a soft transition of these colors. Can also do the size of the canvas, and I'm going to blend here with the clean side of the sponge, and I'm going to add burnt sienna at the bottom. So I want lighter to dark, and again I'm blending, and I can add some at the bottom of the canvas. I'm going to add some warmth in here with the white. Just want to create a soft effect for the background. Something like this, very simple. I'm going to let it dry now. Okay, the background is dry, and I'm going to be sketching with white chalk. And I'm going to divide the canvas in the center. I'm going to throw a line in here, right in the center. And then again, this way. It doesn't matter what size of canvas you have. This will work for any size of canvas. My canvas is divided in 4 equal quadrants. And I'm going to place the flowers in here. And I want the flowers to be in the center of the canvas, but taking space on all quadrants. So I'm going to sketch the first one in here. This is going to be the cup of the rose. I'm doing an oval, and then the cup here. And I'm going to draw some zigzaggy here. These are going to be the outer petals. And I'm going to add some leaves. I mean, this might change, but I'm going to see at this moment how I'm going to fill up the space. And then another rose is going to be in here. There's the oval and the cup. And I'm going to add the outer petals. going to have another rose coming this way. This one is going to be facing this quadrant, so I'm not going to see the center of the rose. So I'm just doing outer petals, and I'm going to draw the stem of this one and some leaves. There's going to be some leaves coming up here and here. You can draw the leaves any place you want, and this can always change later. Okay, so I have the 3 roses placed here. I'm going to give you a close-up. And with this round brush, I'm going to create an underpainting. And I'm going to pick up the red that I'm working with today, and I'm going to create the cup. I'm going to paint the cup here. And this is going to help me later when I'm placing the petals. And I'm adding some white to create the outer petals. And this is again going to help me when I'm painting the rose. I'm roughly doing the shape here. And again, I'm going to do this one. And hopefully this will give you a better idea how I place them on the canvas. And now I'm going to paint this one that I cannot see the cap of the rose, just the outer petals. While this dries, I'm going to paint some of the leaves, and I'm going to be using an angled brush. If you don't have an angled brush, you can use a flat brush. I'm picking up some floating medium and removing the excess. And I'm going to pick up the dark green. And I'm going to add some of this raw sienna, this light brown, to create a natural color for the leaves. And I'm going to paint some of the leaves that I sketch just by pressing the brush and creating the leaves very effortlessly. Here, this is going to be the stem, and the stem of this one, and that one is coming down. And I'm going to add more leaves later. This is just to start placing some of them. I'm going to use the same angled brush to create the petals of the roses. This brush, by the way, is a 5/8. That's a number. But I use this brush because when I place it in here, I can see this is the right size. The right size to create the leaves and the petals. I don't want a very small brush. I want a brush that will help me create what I want effortlessly and not with too many brush strokes. I'm going to pick up some floating medium, and I'm removing the excess. I'm going to pick up white at the toe and red at the heel. And I'm going to blend these two colors. And I'm also going to add a drop of purple with the red. And I'm going to start creating the petals of the roses. I'm going to start with the outer petals. I'm going to start with the bottom one here. And I'm going to do 3 large petals in here. And I'm going to press my brush and softly I'm going to move it softly. I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to move the canvas. This is going to help me, and I'm pressing the brush with the white towards the edge, and I'm gently wiggling the brush. And I'm going to add the last of the outer petals. I'm going to create a large petal on the back. Now I'm going to add another one right below this one, a little bit smaller. And another one. And I'm going to close the bud here. And I'm going to start closing these petals. And I'm going to create one here to close the belly of the rose. And I'm going to add some petals to finish the rose. Okay, and the first rose is done. I'm going to paint this one exactly the same way. Let's do this one that is facing up. And I'm going to start with the upper petals. And I'm just going to press the brush with the white towards the top. And I'm going to create some petals. I'm going to start adding the rose here. And these petals are getting larger and larger. The outer petals are always larger. And I'm going to do a few out here. Okay, I'm going to paint this one the same way. I'm going to do it off camera, so the video is not super long. Okay, I have the same brown green that I used for the leaves, and I'm going to add more leaves. I'm going to add some sepals to this one. And some leaves coming from here. Some branches. And I'm going to add more branches coming down. I think that always looks pretty on a floral. I'm going to add some in here in between the roses because that makes it look more natural. Adding branches here. I have the raw sienna on the angle brush now. I'm going to add a few lighter leaves around here. Just to incorporate the colors. finish this painting, I mixed some of the white, red, and purple to create a color like the roses, the purpley pink, and I splatter some paint around the flowers just to give it a more painterly look. I'm going to give you a close-up. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. If you like this video, please give it a like, comment below, share with your friends, and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any future content from me. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.